LoreWarrior Online VL-2T Vulcan. Overview. The need for a strong anti-infantry mech with offensive capabilities was realised during the battles against Stefan the Usurper. In many conflicts, especially urban combat, infantry could render smaller mechs inoperative. To solve this issue, Mather Techno Incorporated introduced the VL-2T Vulcan. This battlemech reached the front line during General Kerensky's landings on Earth, where it earned a reputation as a tough urban fighting machine. Its flamer system, machine gun, and heavy armour performed effectively against infantry. The autocannon system was originally designed as an anti-mech system, but served well in city fighting. Capabilities. The Vulcan is fully equipped with jump jets, making it unique in urban warfare and threatening to larger battlemechs. Also, its rear-mounted jets are specially vented to reduce heat in its rear areas. The Vulcan's weaponry systems include the reliable Armstrong autocannon. Though introduced as an anti-mech measure, it was used more as an anti-building measure when more and more Vulcans found themselves stationed in city areas. The Vulcan's armour is not very strong, but does provide more than ample protection against most small weapons. This mech is rarely assigned without some larger battlemech support in all-out fighting. As the actual alignment of the mech is narrow and difficult to target, it is difficult to hit in combat. Many mech warriors have commented that the Vulcan looks like a scarecrow's clothes hung out to dry. The absence of manipulative hands is the mech's only drawback, though not a major hindrance. It does limit its close combat capabilities against other mechs. Battle history. At the start of the First Succession War, every major house had control of a sizable number of Vulcan-class battlemechs. Mather Techno's facilities on Northwind fell in the first few months of bombing, leaving several supply dumps of Vulcan parts within the Federated Sun's control. House Lau managed to maintain a large number of these mechs along the Marek border during the First Succession War. The largest concentration was on the planet Sappho, which fell to House Marek at the outbreak of the Second Succession War. As a result, House Lau has the fewest number of Vulcans left in service. House Davian have used their mechs extensively to regain control of Kentari's foe from Kirita. Vulcans led the Davian counterattack in the cities of Amishton and Davisbury to flush out the Kirita infantry. Though the mech's flamers devastated most of the large metropolises, the Kirita garrisons in both cities were captured or killed during the sieges. House Kirita's raid on Dobson in 3020 used most of the Vulcans within the Combine. The raid decimated several key Davian aerospace fighter bases, thus setting the stage for future advances into the area, especially to the world of Galtor. Variants. As the successor houses lacked the research facilities necessary to modify the armour and chassis of this complex mech, Mather Techno built most of the variants several hundred years prior. The most common variant is the VL-5T, which replaces the Armstrong autocannon with slightly more armour and several Maxim medium lasers. This mech design is used mostly by the Federated Suns. Notable mechs and mech warriors. Mech warrior Richard Timms. Richard Timms is the last heir of the Timms family, and he sold all of the remaining family lands to support his mech. Wounded and unable to produce future heirs to serve the Federated Suns, he's used his money to maintain his good times and to keep his Vulcan in perfect working condition. Most of his commanding officers see little or no use for Timms. They realise that he isn't well and will die within the next 3 years from an incurable disease. Richard has made quite a name for himself under the flag of House Davian, however. Lieutenant Sondra Stovertson. Sondra is assigned to House Steiner's Arcturan Guards as commander of one of the lead battle lances. Her Vulcan is painted a brownish red and named the Bloodlust after her attitude toward combat. Sondra is a major threat to any infantry unit, with a reputation for killing platoons to the last. Her skill at the controls of her Vulcan are well documented. While her commanding officers don't really condone some of her tactics, they also realise that she's one of the best mech warriors in the regiment. Mech warrior Volmel Hyde. Volmel was assigned to the Fusiliers of Orienta before being drummed out for unknown reasons. He managed to work his way to Red Jack Ryan, who currently employs him. Although he cannot brag about his mech's condition, Hyde is a competent pilot who has honed his skills to fight against House Marek.